We will be forever young. We will be I wanna feel those castles in the sand. Like when I was a child, I wanna feel those castles in the sand. Like when I was a child, I wanna feel those castles in the sand. Like when I was a child, I wanna feel those castles in the sand. Like when I was
such a lucky girl. I have had the privilege of riding the Scrambler Ducati 1100 for 8 days in Italy and another 4 days in Melbourne since I've come back to this wintry wonderland. They tell me I am the first Aussie journalist, but I don't like to call myself a journalist, so influencer? Nah, it's pretty cheesy. Let's just say human. I'm the first Aussie human to have spent that much time on this bike. My name's Jacinta Siracusa and this is a review telling you a little bit about my experiences with the Scrambler Ducati 1100. So when you look at the bike, it doesn't necessarily look any bigger than the other Scramblers. However, when you sit on it for the first time, you definitely notice a difference in height. I'm 5'8", around 172 centimeters tall, and I can almost get my foot perfectly flat on the ground on this bike. There is a significant difference in height compared to the other Scramblers. For me, it's actually more comfortable. Another difference between the 1100 and the other Scrambler range is the handlebar height. The bars are lower and flatter, and I find it a lot more comfortable than having your hands up here riding around like a postman. This is a lot more comfortable for me. Baby, I was born to ride. Sweet mama, she prays all day. I slow down, but here's the deal. You know I do. The seat is slightly wider. This is the special model. So there are 3 models that have come out with the 1100. The standard, the special and the sport. The special is determined by the grey tank, the spoked wheels, some anodized aluminium casings, and this seat. This is a soft brown leather custom stitched seat. I've ridden this bike for 8 days straight, and it's the first bike that I've not complained about having a sore saddle on. This seat is something else. My butt loves this seat. It just really loves sitting on it in all ways you can imagine.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Shake it, girl. Just a little bit.
So in addition to the spokes and the seat and some of the other retro features that these guys have brought back, one of the ones that I really like is the aluminium X that they've put in the headlight, which has obviously been inspired by the off-road bikes of the 70s. It's really cool.
Stay in town to town, keep your shiny side up and your dirty side down.
So I've pretty much ridden every Scrambler available in the range prior to the 1100, and one of the things that I have to really commend Ducati on with this bike is the ergonomics. They've done something miraculous because it is the most comfortable bike that I have ridden. The distance between the foot pegs to the handlebars has been shifted, and for taller riders it is so much more comfortable. I believe they might have even put them a little bit more forward, because they do sometimes get in the way when you're trying to walk, maneuver the bike. I did cop a shin attack by this left foot peg, which was not very pleasant, but it only happened once and I learnt my lesson, so that's just something to be mindful of. From a riding perspective, however, perfect position. As comfortable as this bike is to ride, the one thing that I will say is it has mega grippy hand grips. After 3 days of constant riding, and I did 8 days, I had developed this crazy little callus on my right hand from the throttle. It's faded now, you can still feel it, but it's hard to see because I've been back in Oz for a week now. But the grips are insane. They're actually wearing through my gloves. So kudos Ducati for figuring out how to get the grippiest grips ever. Some bikes, especially for girls, the clutch can be quite heavy. This has been absolutely beautiful. It's smooth as, there's no crazy tension. I usually change with 2 fingers and haven't had any issues after 8 days of riding. The levers are adjustable, brake as well, so you can customize it to suit you, which is really nice.
We'll fly like a bullet, fast and free. I'm a rolling stone, come roll with me.
The brakes have been made to suit the power that this bike has. The front wheel runs dual disc 4-piston caliper Brembos. I may have had an encounter or two with the Italian drivers, and these brakes are solid. On the rear we have single disc, single piston caliper. The engine of the Scrambler 1100 has been taken from the Monster 1100 Evo, which has been discontinued. They've worked the engine and included the 3 modes that are interchangeable. So the 3 modes are pretty much self-explanatory, but I'll give you a bit more information on them. When running Journey and Active mode, you're running 86 horsepower. If you switch to City mode, it drops the horsepower down to 75 horsepower, which is equivalent to the 800 Scrambler. So what that does is makes it extremely economical on fuel for city riding. The active mode is like beast mode. It has instantaneous response. I don't know, if you've ridden Ducatis in the past and you know like they're super twitchy, super aggressive, very full of personality, that's how I know Ducatis. And the Scrambler range to date hasn't really had that feature. But when you put the 1100 Scrambler into active mode, it gets really close to that, except it's not that super twerky where you can't even breathe on the throttle or it's gonna go. It's a lot more relaxed, but the power delivery is right there when you need it. You touch it and you go. Like, there's no lag, there's no delay. Journey is a bit more relaxed, but still not slouchy at all. It's right there, full of power from the low end right through to the top. I did most of my riding in Italy on Journey mode because we did a lot of autostradas, and the bike just handles the speed over there. There's no speed limits. The guys are insane. I was riding along at 130 on average and getting past like I was standing still by BMW cars. At one point I got this baby up to 186 and the bike just wanted to keep going. My neck wasn't coping too well with the G-forces, but the engine had no problems. This bike is a beast.
They say 4 wheels, they move the body, baby, but 2 wheels move the soul. We'll fly like a bullet, fast and free. I'm a rolling stone, come roll with me. I keep on picking up danger.
like the instrument cluster that they've brought out on the 1100. It's really clean, it doesn't detract from the aesthetics. You've got a digital speedometer, which is really easy to read while you're riding at a quick glance. Another additional feature that this Scrambler has that the others don't is a fuel gauge. I was really surprised riding the other Scramblers that there was no fuel gauge, and it also has a fuel light, which is a bonus. Notice here it says Journey. That's relating to 3 modes on this bike, so effectively you're getting like 3 bikes in one. It's ridiculous. Journey, Active and City modes. What they do is actually adjust traction control, fuel delivery, power delivery and horsepower. I love that you can change between these modes on the fly. So the way to do that is you push in this enter button, which is effectively the center of your indicator switch, and what that does is it brings up all the different modes. And then with this arrow indicator here, you can shift through and select the different modes. Then when you've selected the one that you want, you simply double tap the enter button and it locks it in. And we're in Journey mode.
Come on, baby. I said, baby, I was born to ride.
It also gives you range. You've got 2 trips on there, and then you've got all the settings. So each of the modes are adjustable and customizable, and that's outside air temperature is currently 18, which is amazing for Melbourne. It's been averaging 10. If you can see here, Journey and DTC3. So Ducati traction control is a brand new feature on these bikes, and it's got 4 modes of traction. Each of the riding modes has a different number of traction control. 4 being the highest interference, 1 being the lowest. You can completely switch off the traction control as well.
Mr. Preacher Man, but I'm damn to hell on wheels. Give me a 2-lane highway any day and some redneck.
Just to give you an idea of the traction control, I had it in active mode, which is DTC2 level, and I managed to get the rear wheel spinning on grass. So it's not crazy overpowering, even with 2. And I rode out of it. It did a little fishy, but nothing crazy. So it felt secure and stable. It's such a good bike. There's also ABS on this bike. The ABS you can't switch off, and it's called something like cornering ABS. I don't really know what that means, but it sounds pretty fancy, so I'm gonna say thumbs up, because I had no problems cornering on the bike.
Digging up danger, I keep on sitting in the chamber. State to state, town to town, keep your shiny side up and your dirty side down. Oh, yeah.
So yesterday I had an encounter, an experience. I was riding along in Melbourne and it was dark. I was riding through a construction zone and all of a sudden I hit this bump, which I was not expecting. We have like these hard plastic cable covers that go across the roads in Melbourne in construction zones, and I've hit one of those like full accelerating, and the bike just took it like a boss. If it hadn't been my bike that I ride regularly, it would have literally lifted me out of the seat, and I felt the impact through the front, through the bars and the front wheel, and I was expecting to get bucked like I was riding a bucking Bronco, which is what my bike does to me. But this thing just absorbed the whole impact, and that's when I fell in love with the bike. I don't want to give it back. I really like bikes that sound meaty. I'm a girl that likes a good rumble.
Come on, baby. Best ride I've ever seen, I think. The cover.
With my bike, I mean. And this is one of those bikes that stock standard exhaust sounds good. Like it sounds deep and throaty and I really like it. Do you want to have a listen? Come, I'll turn it on for you. Got a real Ducati sound, but wet clutch obviously. The distinct Ducati sound is the dry clutch. This has got the Ducati pipes. I like it. Sounds hot. Smells good too. I like the smell of petrol. Is that wrong? It's probably wrong. It smells so greasy. Don't mind me. It's been about 10 years since I've done any serious adventure or motocross riding, so it was lots of fun getting this bike off the road and into the dirt. We did every single surface imaginable. Sand.
When no one knows, it's not lonely. It's a necessary thing. It's a place I made up. Find out what I made of. The nights I've stayed up, counting stars and fighting sleep. Let it wash over me. I'm ready to lose my feet. Take me off to the place where one reviews life's mystery. Steady on down the line, lose every sense of time. Take it all in and wake up that small part of me. Day to day I'm blind to see and find how far to go. Everybody got their reasons.
Water.
Away the pain that is built up on my brain. I love rolling in the rain. I forget about the things that drive me insane. I love rolling.
River beds, stones. Mud. We did it all, and the thing was so steady and so stable and so reliable in all of them. I think I was in journey mode for most of them, and it didn't skip a beat. It took it like a boss.
There's a place I'm going, no one knows me. If I breathe real slowly, I let it out and let it in. It can be terrifying to be slowly dying, also clarifying. We end where we begin, so let it wash over me. I'm ready to lose my feet. Take me off to the place where one reveals life's mystery. Steady on down the line, lose every sense of time. Take it all in and wake up that small part of me. Day to day I'm blind to see and find how far to go. Everybody got the reason, everybody got the way. We're just catching and releasing what builds up throughout the day. And it gets into your body, flows right through your blood. We can tell each other secrets and remember our love. Da da dum da dum dum dum, da dum dum dum, da dum dum. Da da dum da dum dum dum, da dum dum dum, da dum dum.
Just want to say a huge thank you to Ducati Australia, New Zealand for making this possible and organising me to grab a bike while I was over in Italy. Thank you to Scrambler Ducati Italia. You guys are legends and I had so much fun with you guys. Hey. Welcome to my office for the day. This is pretty cool. I'm at Scrambler Ducati in Bologna. Say hi to the team.
What?
You guys gave me the job for the day.
Great. Welcome to the Scrambler office.
Thank you for trusting me with your bike. Thank you to Ducati Melbourne for giving me this bike while I've been back, and thank you to Benzina Cantina for letting us take over their space and film this review.
Oh, Saturday sun, I met someone out on the west coast. I gotta get back, I can't let this go. Saturday sun, I met someone, don't care what it costs. No ray of sunlight's ever lost. So tired of sleeping alone, so tired of eating alone. I need to ask her, what's going on? Are we going strong? She felt like rest in her head. My shoulder was the perfect height. We fit so right. So what's going on? 'Cause I've been undone. The long drive, the coastline, looking at the first light. Am I still on her mind? I've been undone. Oh, Saturday sun, I met someone out on the west coast. I gotta get back, I can't let this go. Saturday sun, I met someone, don't care what it costs. No ray of sunlight's ever lost. And still the memory's right there. She put the breeze in my hair. No kiss was softer than this. I'm reading her lips. Oh, each line I read. She left her books in my bed and her song in my head. I've been undone. Oh, Saturday sun, I met someone.
Thanks so much for tuning in and watching my first bike review, guys. You might know me, I'm Jacinta and the founder of MotoDoll, the brand, on Instagram. But I'm going to be doing heaps more YouTube reviews, bike reviews, gear reviews, events, interviews, heaps more stuff to come. So if you liked it, please give us a thumbs up, press the subscribe button, and I'll see you soon. Remember, don't ride faster than your guardian angels can fly. God bless.
Oh, Saturday sun.
One thing I don't like is that wire there.
The what?
This cable. It's like in a weird spot. I don't know why they do it. Like, is there a gravity? Does that need like a gravity feed for the... What is that? Brake fluid. Why do they wire it like that? They should put it somewhere else. That's the only thing that has irritated me while riding this bike, is seeing that there all the time. Picking at straws?
Cable.
Picking at cable. Alright. Is that a wrap?